Ito na.
Nag-start na.
Hello everyone, I am Rino Casas, your math hero. Unsa man jud ang rason nga nung daghan ang di ganahan og math? Even ako as a teacher, I am very concerned of my students on why they don't like my subject. And so, naata karon para i-clarify na siya.
What do you think of when you think of math? If you're like most people, it's probably something like numbers, equations, boredom, anxiety, and pain. Why is there such a huge gap between how mathematicians and general population see and experience maths? Here are the top 10 reasons why many students hate mathematics. Top 10 on the list is the difficulty to understand mathematics. While learning the basics are important in math, some students find it difficult the various methods and concepts of solving mathematics. The higher the classes, the more difficult math is. It often takes determination and focus for a student to learn math. We have number 9, the fear of humiliation or criticism. Most students fear shame of not getting the correct answer. While some students see this as a challenge, others prefer to hide in a cover and begin to dislike everything about the subject. The teacher and parents have a responsibility to identify the student's difficulty and help them feel more comfortable to learn the subject. Number 8, the math haters epidemic. Most students tend to look up to the people that are great influence in their life and also mirror their steps and attitudes. If a parent, sibling, or even friend they look up to show a dislike for math and react negatively towards it, the student might also copy that attitude. If the person he or she spends more time with doesn't show interest in math, then that student might most likely find less interest in the subject. Let's go to number 7, the fear of not winning a challenge. Most students like to win, but if they try their hands on something and they cannot win, they will give up over time. Teaching and encouraging students that there is nothing too difficult to learn and master is very important. When a student tries solving a math and cannot get the answer, it is most likely he will give up and lose interest in the subject. And we have number 6, inability to memorize math. Lots of students are used to mugging their answers on subjects or topics they find difficult to remember. It is important to memorize facts like events and dates since they cannot change, but not in mathematics. You cannot memorize some of the formulas because its application differs and the numbers also differ. Number 5, the wrong portion for the wrong age. Even though we have been encouraged to stretch and broaden our minds, however, there are boundaries, especially for children, as to the level of things they learn per time. Though some colleges and schools set certain things as portions to be covered by the teacher, there is a possibility that a child may find it difficult to learn much at that set amount of time given at his age. As a result, math becomes a burden to him, and he begins to hate the subject. Number 4, so many different methods for a simple calculation. For instance, 5 times 3 is equal to 15. 20 minus 5, we have 15. And 10 plus 5 is equal to 15 again. These different methods bring confusion and questions to the minds of students. There are so many methods of solving a simple math sums at every stage of schooling. So many graphs, equations, calculus, sequences, series, geometrical ideals, exponential ecology, and catastrophe theory, and what's not. And the list never ends. Life is nothing but a calculations at every step. Some students without guidance can find it difficult to learn these formulas and subject as a whole. We have the third on the list. The subject is boring. With so many numbers and no stories, math can be crazy boring. The only thing close to a story ever told is we have Tosin has a basket of X oranges. He gave 10 to Joy, 5 to Ada, 4 got rotten, and the rest got missing. How many oranges was in the basket? Stories have a way of making us memorize and recall things faster because stories are interesting and they get our attention. Building stories while we learn is a good method of teaching, and it is very common practice. Even science tells stories of how, why, and what. Not so with math. And we are now down to our second reason on why most of the students don't like mathematics. And that is, math is either right or wrong. It is either you know how to solve the problems or you don't. There is no in between and no make do with math. No guesswork or trying to fool the teacher with ambiguous words and long essays. Other subjects are flexible in the sense that you can write half the answer correctly and get your half, but no, in mathematics had to be different. And so, we have our last reason and why most of the students don't like mathematics. It's the teacher. Yup, we are going directly to put all our maths frustration in all boring math teachers. Not all teachers are good at what they do. Some math teachers do not teach and subject with enthusiasm. For them, it is just a job, while for the students, they find math even more puzzling than before the teacher taught the subject. So, it is important for teachers to introduce numbers and calculations in an interesting way so as to capture the interest of the students. Basic math foundation is important and teachers should ensure their students learn and master them. Although mathematics seems to appear uninteresting, it has its benefits when correctly learned and applied. There are so many advantages to learning mathematics. You get better at learning complicated things and you are not afraid of complex classes and ideas. Math can help develop your pride and confidence in your ability to understand various phenomena and earns you high self-esteem. Got any thoughts on why students hate mathematics? Why not share in the comments section?